In case you guys are unaware, Katt Williams recently did an interview, and in the interview, he basically described Kevin Hart as a industry plant.
No one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
What's up, guys? It's Bad Decisions, where we watch people make
bad decisions.
It's your boy, Sherm.
It's your man, Jay.
Just in case you guys are unaware of what an industry plant is, I'll give the definition. So Google says, industry plant is a musician, or in this case, a comedian, who quickly finds success regarding a skill or a merit and purposely describes himself as self-made, independent, despite being heavily supported by record labels or industry, having other resources and connections to whatever industry that they are in, and they intentionally hide. Why are you making that face?
Because normally a plant is there, I thought, for like reconnaissance purposes, to essentially spy or to gather information. What that definition sounds like is they would just had a big backing or push.
Pretty much. And this is what Kevin's Hart response was.
A fun fact about the New York Knicks, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Katt Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, yeah. And it's rumored that he took the Knicks back, returned them with a receipt.
He made the team.
He played.
He played. Oh, he played.
He played with the Knicks. He played with them.
We know he's fast. They say he's fast.
Yeah,
he run
one of the fastest.
3.9. Oh, yeah. He figured out how to play basketball from reading all them books.
3,000 of them.
3,000 a year.
A year.
That's two a day.
Yeah.
At 6 years old. That's two a day. Who knew he was so voracious? John Morant coming in to the Lakers. Okay, I see you.
Another known fact, Katt dropped him off.
Oh, wow. Katt in a spaceship.
John Morant. He gave him a ride.
In a spaceship. Okay. In a spaceship. Copy that. Spaceship that he parallel parked. By the way, he's fighting for the MMA championship, the 17-year-old boy that put him in the rear naked right? Choke.
In a headlock, right?
But it's a known fact that Katt Williams do not breathe oxygen, so it didn't bother him.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much the funniest response that I've seen this far, because everyone pretty much didn't really respond, or they gave subliminal. I mean, this was very passive aggressive, but I mean, I think that this was just kind of like a fun, tongue-in-cheek of way of kind of saying that he's the biggest capper alive.
Yeah. I was like, Kevin Hart is not really a comedian that you would expect to be able to like throw jabs at people. He's kind of a goofy.
Yeah, he's not
comedian.
Really like a roaster.
He's not a roaster.
He can't roast.
He's not
he
a
can't
roaster.
roast.
There you go. But after I saw it the second time, I thought, okay, I see what they're doing. They are being extreme because of how extreme because of how extreme Katt Williams' statements were.
Yeah, when I saw the response, to me, what it reminded me of is the Bow Wow challenge. You remember the Bow Wow challenge? Just in case you guys are unaware of, basically Bow Wow got caught like lying about something, I think like a private jet or something like that. So then everyone made like memes about or photos of them like lying in real life, and then with hashtag Bow Wow challenge. That's what it reminded me of. They're trying to make Katt seem like he's the biggest capper, so that way like everything else that he just says, people are like, okay, all right, Katt.
Yeah, actually, that's cool. That makes sense. Further diminish his credibility if he ever had it to begin with.
Damn.
Bro,
I can tell you're a fan.
I mean, I'm not saying I dislike his comedic ability. I'm just saying what he was saying just came across as a lot of it was just out there.
Okay, here's what I have to say about it, right? I think that Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish have basically been the targets for the comedy community for the last couple of years, where whenever someone brings up a comedian and they say, oh, they're not funny, they're not great, they always point to these two names. And people have to remember that comedy is very subjective. Not everyone's going to find the same thing funny, you know? Just like how, You know, just like me and Jay, we don't like the same kind of girls, you know? That doesn't mean that we have bad taste. It just means that it's subjective. I might like something that you might not like, right? So I don't necessarily feel like that's like a fair criticism to always put on them, that they're not funny, because like obviously they keep selling out shows. Someone finds them funny. You can't sell out a whole stadium and no one finds you funny. I'm just saying. I mean, is Kevin Hart my favorite comedian? No, right? I'll probably say like Dave Chappelle, and Katt's up there to me, right? And I like Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr is funny.
Burr's great.
But yeah, so Kevin Hart, I still do find him funny. He's just not my favorite. And I think people also have to remind themselves that there's different kind of like genres in comedy, and there's different styles in comedy. And whenever I hear someone criticize Kevin Hart, their style of comedy is always way different than his. And I'm always like, you can't even really compare your guys. Like, if you guys were to have sets, like, would you guys even have the same crowd? So no. I don't really feel like that's even a fair comparison, man. I just think that they have different types of humor, different styles, different people, and I mean, they can both coexist. I don't think it has to be a versus match every time. But
look, this is where I think Katt Williams could be a little salty, because he fumbled the bag to an extent. But at the same time, he may have never been able to grasp that bag. The thing about it is, Kevin Hart, I don't really like his comedic style, but I respect him as a businessman. And he got his 15 minutes, and he took it, and he ran off with it. Supposedly at one point it was Katt versus Kev, and one of them were about to become more mainstream. But Katt Williams went down this whole spiral, started doing drugs allegedly, and his comedic style has a lot of profanity in it. He just didn't really appeal to the masses like Kevin did. So he, in a sense, to me, fumbled the bag because he didn't find a way to morph himself into that more mainstream person. So Kevin Hart did, and he's definitely winning. Kevin Hart is making bread.
Yeah, he always has a movie, always has a show, always has a special. I mean, this man got caught cheating and still bounced back, made a comedy special of it. Like, Kevin Hart knows how to win.
He does know how to win. So I'm saying, I respect his business acumen, and he appeals to the masses. Katt Williams, if you haven't watched one of his specials, go watch it, and you'll see what I mean.
Yeah,
like, it's very, very profane. A lot of profanity. I'm not saying I'm judging him. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I love Katt Williams.
You can't be a family of 5 and sit down and enjoy a Katt Williams special with your kids. It's not gonna happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interview. I watched most of it. I didn't sit down and watch it all. I'm probably gonna chop it down one day to do it, just in case we react to anything else. Definitely very talented guy. If you guys have ever watched Katt Williams talk, he literally kind of talks like he's doing his actual stand-up. That's how you can tell he's actually a naturally funny guy. Just because when he's talking, it sounds like he's making stand-up jokes. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, do you think his response was good? Do you think it was a good decision, bad decision, Kevin Hart's response to this? What do you think?
Yeah, I think out of all the responses he could have done, it's probably the best one. He didn't directly address it. He just made light of it and joked about it and kind of clowned Katt Williams indirectly, which I think for Kevin Hart is good enough. The only other option would be to say nothing, which is also fine. So, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad decision he responded. So,
I mean, it's natural. I mean, I think Katt Williams said something prior to this before too. I mean, you poke at the bear long enough, they're gonna,
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not really surprised.
I will say though, I am the fan of the Jay-Z method. Sometimes I don't do it myself. I wish I should practice it more often. But the Jay-Z method is just don't say anything and just
keep it moving.
Just keep it pushing. Like, I don't have time for it, which I kind of respect that, because it's just like, he's like, I'm too high of a level to even worry about you, which can be very effective. So,
but here's the thing though, that Katt Williams interview has done millions, so I don't think that he's like below any, like, you can't. And then Katt always consistently, he does sell out a lot. So
yeah, but you're talking about Katt versus Kevin as far as like as far as popularity, as far as the money.
Hold on. Mainstream popularity, I'll give it to Kevin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give it to Kevin Hart.
Bro. He's selling out football stadiums.
I'll give it to Kevin Hart. That's true, but the reason why I say that, though, is that Katt Williams is still very well known. Sure. He's still very well liked. He was in a lot of movies back in the day, like a lot of classic movies, like Friday, Sunday. I think First Sunday. He was in a lot, right?
Okay.
And like even in college, I remember in college, right? Even my white roommate, he would play Katt Williams early in the morning.
Okay.
So I mean, He's still a legend. I'm just saying.
Again, subjective, but that's fine. And I don't disagree with the fact that he's a good comedian, or at least he doesn't you know, he's good. He's good, but I'm talking about levels. Like you could say, I don't know. Like if you had a conversation, anyway, I don't know.
I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Different level. He's still famous. So if this was like the NBA, you'd say right now Kevin Hart is probably LeBron, and you would probably say that Katt is like Carmelo Anthony. He's still a great player, but is he, you know, on LeBron James level? No, but people still respect him as a player. He's still a good player.
Right. That's a good analogy. Yeah, we'll go with
Makes
that.
sense. All right, guys. So if you think Kevin Hart made a good decision in his response, leave a like and leave a comment. If you think he made a bad decision, leave a like, leave a comment. And one last thing, though. If I got to be completely honest, Katt Williams won this whole thing because he did everything. All he wanted to do was have people respond, and everyone responded. Even if it was subtle, even if it wasn't a response, even if it was a social media post, everybody still responded. They could have literally said nothing. Jay-Z method, they didn't. Decision makers, we're out. Stop responding.